So standing, take your feet maybe just a bit wider than hip distance. Find what feels good for you, because we're going to just take a few minutes just to check in with ourselves. So if you want to close the eyes while you're stood, you can do so. And just take a few deep breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. And as we're stood, let's just really take our focus to the mat beneath our feet. Notice how the mat feels underneath our feet. You might be able to feel the bubbles underneath it, well, the bubbles that make up the mat, that is. You might notice how springy it is, or you might just feel something different under your feet. You might just feel the ground beneath your feet. Just as you're noticing the mat and the feet, just notice if you can feel any energy kind of coming up through the floor into your feet, just that energy exchange between you and the floor. And just keep that in mind as you go through the practice, just that energy flow between us and between the floor. It's an exchange. And then draw your attention up from your feet, up all the way through the body. Noticing any areas of tension, any niggles that you want to be aware of as we go through. And then check in with you. How are you feeling today? Cares, concerns, let those maybe be part of the energy exchange between the floor and you, or just let them float away. Husband's coming in now. On an inhale, bring the arms overhead. Clasp in both hands. Push the palms away from you so they're pushing upwards. And just take a nice full body stretch. And actually let's unclasp the hands and really kind of stretch between the fingers. Allow the hands to kind of make star shapes. And just really stretch up from the fingers and down to the toes. Take one hand over one wrist, so clasp one hand over the wrist, and then just inhale, lengthening through the spine. Just take the stretch to one side. Doesn't matter which side. And really just breathe into that stretch. And as we're here, just try to kind of again lengthen through the fingertips rather than kind of bending the arm, if that makes sense. Coming back to center. We'll take the other hand over the wrist and we'll do the same with the other side. So inhaling, lengthening, and exhale, take the side stretch. Breathing into that side stretch. And enjoying it, obviously. And then coming back up to center, release the arms down, give it a good shake off. And then let's just start by swinging, well not start, we've already started. Let's carry on by swinging the arms from left to right. Giving the hips a little pat if you wish to give them a pat as you go past. Daisy doggy. And then as we're swinging, gaining momentum if you wish to, keeping the hips forward so we're kind of twisting into the back and getting that back mobilized. Bringing the arms up to shoulder height, slowly but surely. So we are then starting to twist more into the upper back And from here, let's make those good old cactus arms. So up, elbows at right angles, fingertips pointing up. Lovely stuff. And then we're going to release the arms and just allow those to swing either side again. And like a pendulum, just come down to the centre into some stillness. Take your time getting there. Yay. Lovely. Feeling a bit warmer now, hopefully. So let's step to the top of our mats. We're going to come into Tadasana, our mountain pose. So feet are hip distance apart. Just gently lift the toes up from the mat. Just again, ground down through the feet. So really feel that big toe ball joint, little toe ball joint and the heel pressing down on the mat. Again, feel that energy connection and just allow the toes then to rest down onto the mat. So you know you've got a nice base there for centeredness. From here, imagine pulling up, so a hook kind of underneath the arches of the feet, pulling up from the arches of the feet, engaging those calf muscles, engage those thigh muscles. As soon as you kind of think about engaging your thigh muscles, your stomach muscles pull in. Gently engage the pelvic floor muscles as well. Inhaling, lengthening up through the spine. Shoulder blades come down and away from the ears. Chin is parallel to the floor, but we are basically facing forward. Hands, palms facing forward in our Tadasana. So actually quite a strong pose. A lot harder than it looks. Taking a few breaths here. And then from here, on an inhale, raise the arms overhead, bringing the hands to prayer position. And I am actually quite warm now, so I'm going to take my jumper off. So once our hands are in prayer position over our heads, we're just going to lengthen again up through the spine and just ease the hands backwards ever so slightly. So we get a slight little back bend going on. And again, everything is still engaged, so just take a mental note to re-engage those legs if they're not engaged. And this is our upward salute. On an exhale, hands come down the centre and we fold forward, hinging from the hips. Knees as bent as we need them to be, so our hands lightly touch the mat. We're not trying to stretch the backs of our legs, so it doesn't matter how bent our knees are. On an inhale, hands come to shins, chest comes up into a flat back position. And exhale, fold. On an inhale, bend those knees, push through the feet, come up to standing. Arms overhead into our upward salute. And on an exhale, hands come down to prayer position at heart center. Lovely stuff. So they are half sun salutes. We'll do a couple more. On an inhale, sweeping the arms overhead, coming up into our upward salute. Exhale, folding. Hinging at the hips, hands come down. On an inhale, we'll bring the hands to the shins or to the thighs, engage the stomach muscles, bring up to flat back. And exhale, fold. On an inhale, push through the feet, come up to standing, using your leg strength, arms overhead. And exhale, hands down to prayer position. Lovely. One more like that before we move on. On another inhale, sweeping the arms overhead. Exhale, fold. Knees bent as much as you want. Inhale, come up into a flat back position. or IKEA position, and exhale, fold. Push through the feet, come up to standing. On an inhale, arms overhead, and exhale, hands down to prayer position. Lovely stuff. Yoink your t-shirt down. On your next inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chest comes forward into our flat back position. And exhale, as we fold, we're going to take our right foot a long step back, dropping the knee to the mat. Coming into a low lunge. From here, place the right hand on the mat, left hand comes to the knee. And we're just going to gently sink into the hips. Just get those hips warmed up. And let's take the knee in some circles, out, and then back in. And then take those circles the other way. And finding some stillness, just allow yourself to sink into the hips. And when I say sink, just allowing them to open, just finding what feels comfortable for you. Lovely stuff. From here, both hands on the mat. We're going to walk the hands back and walk the foot forward. So we're straightening that front leg. Thank you, Daisy. Toes pointing up towards the ceiling. Hands either side of your knee. I don't really want your football. Giving that leg a good stretch. And then gently trying to place those toes down on the floor so you get a stretch down the front of the leg. It's quite an uncomfortable stretch, but it's a nice one. And then bending that knee, walk the foot back in. Place both hands on the mat either side of the foot. Tuck the back toes and lift up into a downward facing dog. Take a few seconds just to pedal out the feet, pressing one heel down alternately, just to feel into your down dog. Once you're comfortable here, find some stillness. And on your next inhale, step the right foot forward, drop the left knee to the mat. And then on an exhale, left foot comes to meet the right in a forward fold. Knees bent, push down through the feet. On an inhale, come up standing, arms overhead. And exhale, hands down to prayer position. Lovely stuff. We'll do the same the other side. So on an inhale, sweeping the arms overhead. Exhale, folding. Inhale, bring the chest up into a flat back, hands on shins. And exhale, take the left foot a long step back, drop the knee to the mat. And just make yourself comfortable in a low lunge. So the right knee comes over the ankle. And again, take a few seconds just to try and sink into that hip. That's my sock. Yes. And then take your right knee out in some circles just to get that hip rotating and warmed up. And then take the circles the other way. Finding some stillness, just finding some stillness with a little sink in the hips to where it's comfortable for you and your hips. And then we're going to take both hands down to the mat, walk the right foot forward. So we're straightening that right foot, coming onto the heels with the toes pointing up. What's you can see? It's you. The dog spotted herself on the screen. And so she's going crazy. And then just lightly take those toes down towards the floor, getting a stretch down the front of the leg. Yes, thank you, that's a beautiful view. Bending that knee, walk the right foot back in. Slowly but surely. Plant both hands down on the mat, lift the back knee and take it into a downward facing dog. Find your comfortable downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here. And then on your next inhale, left foot steps forward to the front of the mat. Right knee drops to the mat if you wish to. And then exhale. Right foot meets the left at the front of the mat, that's the word. In our forward fold. On an inhale, push through the feet, come up to standing, arms overhead. And exhale, hands down to prayer position. And again, adjust your t-shirt. Lovely. Hello. On your next inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips. Be careful. Inhale, come up to a flat back. And exhale, take the right foot a long step back, dropping the knee to the mat if you wish. Inhale, just allow the chest to open slightly. And exhale, plant the hands, take the left foot back into a downward facing dog. We don't stay in this down dog for long, so on an inhale, bring the shoulders over the wrists into a plank, dropping the knees. And exhale, lower all the way down to the floor. Inhale, bring the chest forward into our baby cobra. And when we're in cobra, we're engaging our glutes. On an exhale, tuck the toes, take it back and up into a downward facing dog. Hips nice and high. Legs don't have to be straight in a down dog if it's uncomfortable for you. And fingers are evenly placed so we've got a nice firm grounding through our hands. On your next inhale, right foot steps behind the right hand. Dropping the left knee to the mat if you wish to. And exhale, left foot joins the right at the front of the mat in a forward fold. Inhale, push through the feet. Come up to standing, arms overhead. And exhale, hands down to prayer position. Thank you. Inhaling, sweeping the arms overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, left foot steps a long way back. Drop the knee to the mat. We inhale, open the chest up. And exhale, plant the hands, take the right foot back into a down dog. Inhaling, shoulders come over the wrists into our plank, dropping the knees. And exhale, lower all the way down, elbows coming in towards the body. On an inhale, pressing through the pelvis, engaging the glutes, chest opens up into cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, come up through plank or over the knees into your downward facing dog. Shoulder blades drawing together down the back. You've got a nice spine lengthener. Thighs are engaged, pulling towards the wall behind you. On your next inhale, left foot steps behind the left hand. Drop the right knee to the mat. And exhale, right foot meets the left at the front of the mat, forward fold. On an inhale, push through the feet, come up standing, arms overhead. Exhale, hands down. Lovely. Let's do one more each side and then we'll wind down. So, on an inhale, sweeping the arms overhead. Exhale, fold, hinging at the hips. Hello. Inhale, chest comes up into flat back. And exhale, right foot steps a long way back, shush. Keep the knee up if you want a little bit of an added challenge. We open up through the chest. Exhaling, planting the hands, taking the left foot back into a down dog. Again, we don't stay here for long. We're going to bring the shoulders over the wrists into a plank. Knees up if you wish, or knees on the floor. Either way, lower all the way down to the mat. Inhale, chest comes forward into a baby cobra. And exhale, tuck the toes, come up through plank, into downward facing dog. Sorry, the dog's amusing me. We'll take a few breaths in downward facing dog. Shoulder blades down the back, weight evenly distributed between our fingers, that's the one. Really pressing down into the index finger and the thumb. On your next inhale, right foot steps behind the right foot. Keep that left knee up if you wish to. Exhale, left foot meets the right, forward fold. Inhale, push through the feet, come up to standing, arms overhead. And exhale, hands down. Lovely. Take a recovery breath. On an inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhaling, folding. Inhale, chest comes up into flat back. And exhale, left foot steps a long way back. Knee up if you wish to, or knee drops to the mat. We inhale, open up through the chest. Exhale, plant the hands. Right foot steps back into down dog. Inhale, shoulders over wrists. Plank, knees up or knees down. Otherwise, exhale, lower all the way down to the floor. Inhale, chest comes open into baby cobra. And exhale, take it over the knees or up through plank into downward facing dog. Hips nice and high. And we take a few recovery breaths here. On your next inhale, left foot steps behind the left hand. Keep the knee up if you wish to. And exhale, right foot meets the left in forward fold. The dog's falling asleep sat up. On an inhale, push through the feet. Come up to standing, arms overhead. And exhale, hands down to prayer position. Lovely. Inhaling, sweeping the arms overhead. Exhale, fold, hinging at the hips. Inhale, chest comes up into a flat back. And exhale, fold. Inhale, push through the feet, come back up to standing, arms overhead. And exhale, hands down to prayer position. One more time and we will just take a few more breaths in our forward fold. So on an inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, folding forward, hinging at the hips. Take your feet a little bit wider than hip distance if you wish. And just allow the arms to hang loose. Allow the torso to relax, allow the head to relax. If you want to grab each elbow, grab each elbow. Just breathing into the spine. You can sway from side to side if you wish. Find what feels good for you, just to start to wind down. Releasing the hands. Take your time to come back up standing, inhaling, coming back up vertebra by vertebra, pushing down through the feet at the same time. Lovely stuff. So we'll just do a short kind of relaxation. So if you want to, you can either stay standing, you can sit down, or you can lie down. Your choice. Too many choices. In fact, let's go into Shavasana. So if we take it to lie down on the floor, grabbing warmer clothing if you want warmer clothing. The body might cool down very quickly after those sun salutations. So in Shavasana, our legs are just wider than hip distance apart and are relaxing out to either side. Arms are on the floor, palms facing up. Gently closing the eyes. Just bring your awareness back to your breath. Notice whether your breathing has changed at all. And also notice what's going on in your body without any kind of judgment. Notice whether the heart is beating a little bit faster. Doesn't matter if it's not. And then take your awareness back to the mat beneath you. Notice all the points where your body touches the mat. Your head, your shoulders, your arms, your pelvis, lower back, your legs, your heels. Just notice how they feel. Just notice the support they're feeling from the floor. And knowing the firmness of the floor beneath you, allow all those points just to relax into the floor. Allow the body to become heavy, loose, relaxed, supported by the floor beneath you. And bring your awareness back to your breathing. Notice whether the breathing has started to slow down. And allow it to just become slower and deeper. Concentrating all your attention on your breath. You might take your awareness to the very base of the nostril, feeling a slight coolness as the air passes the nostril into the nostril, and a slight warmth as you breathe out. And gradually taking your awareness to your fingers, start to gently move your fingers. And then the toes. Move the head from side to side to release the neck. Hugging the knees in towards the chest. Just rock from side to side. Before bringing yourself up to seated in your own time. Once you've come to seated, just bring your hands to prayer position at heart center. On an inhale, sweep the arms overhead. And exhale, bring your hands back down to prayer position. Bowing forward slightly. Namaste. The light in me recognizes the light in you. Thank you very much.